Hollywood icon Robert De Niro launched a sharp attack on Senator John Kennedy during a live television broadcast, branding him dumb in a moment that shocked the audience. But John Kennedy, with unshakable resolve, stepped forward and delivered a comeback that dismantled De Niro's narrative with grace and strength. A turn of events the media failed to predict the viral clip, now captivating millions. What started as a routine late-night talk show transformed into an unforgettable spectacle. The studio lights glowed intensely, the crowd hummed with excitement, and the host beamed widely, introducing the night's guest, the legendary Robert De Niro. The topic was America's cultural divide. Yet no one anticipated the drama ahead as cameras rolled and laughter filled the air. De Niro gripped the microphone, his eyes cold and piercing. "Let me say it loud and clear," he proclaimed. "John Kennedy is the dumbest person to ever serve in the Senate." A wave of gasps swept the room, followed by hesitant applause from those who thought it a jest. But De Niro was earnest, continuing his barrage. "He's a grubby political figure, a two-bit player, a loser, a disgrace." Backstage, Senator John Kennedy, scheduled for a later segment, watched with a clenched jaw. The insults struck personally, challenging the values he upheld and the nation he served. In that moment, Kennedy decided to act. He would not remain silent. The host faltered as De Niro's rant intensified. He should step down. He's harming the country, and anyone with sense knows it. Then, without warning, John Kennedy walked onto the stage, drawing another collective gasp. The cameras split the view, one side showing De Niro's flushed, angry face, the other Kennedy's composed, focused presence like a leader entering battle. The host stuttered, "Senator Kennedy, we were just finishing." Kennedy raised a hand with calm authority. "No need to stop. I couldn't stay back, Mr." De Niro's words touched a nerve. The tension mounted. De Niro sneered. "You here to defend yourself, you fool." But Kennedy stood firm, stepping closer. "I once admired you, Mr. De Niro. I truly did. I watched The Godfather. Part 2 with my family. You were a hero to us. Somewhere along the way, you traded that legacy for cheap applause." The room grew quiet, the host speechless. Kennedy's voice held a steady, sharp edge. "You're not upset because I failed, Mr. De Niro. You're upset because I succeeded without Hollywood's blessing." De Niro tried to interrupt, but Kennedy pressed on. "You call me a hustler. But what about you? You've made millions playing tough guys on screen. Now you're here acting like the people's voice." The crowd wavered, unsure who to support. Kennedy paused. "You're dealing with something real, sir, a deep-seated bias that's blinded you to my work for this country." De Niro's eyes narrowed, searching for a reply. Kennedy leaned in. "I was once a fan, but when you attacked me for putting America first, for standing for its families, you called it tyranny. That's when I saw the truth." He turned to the camera. "This isn't about me. It's about a Hollywood elite who can't accept the American people's voice." The audience sat stunned. The moment already trending online, the air thickened, the crowd barely breathing as John Kennedy faced a cinematic legend. Yet De Niro no longer held the stage. He faced a reflection of reality. "You don't speak for working-class Americans," Kennedy said, his tone calm but cutting. "You live behind gates, you fly private, you shout from your mansion, while everyday people struggle under policies. You back?" De Niro crossed his arms, forcing a laugh. "Let's not make this political. I have a right to my view." Kennedy nodded. "You do, and I have a right to respond. And the people deserve the truth." The host attempted to intervene. "Maybe a break." "No," Kennedy said firmly. "America's had enough pauses, enough silence. Not anymore. The audience clapped, starting softly, then swelling. Viewers at home leaned in. For once, John Kennedy wasn't just a senator, he was a long, missing voice. Kennedy turned to De Niro, his tone softening, not to spare, but to speak sincerely. I used to be one of your biggest fans. My family worked hard for movie nights. We watched Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, all of it. You were part of our home. A hush fell. But you've changed, Kennedy continued, not through growths, but because hatred took over, you chose to attack a public servant for standing firm. De Niro stood mute at a loss. Kennedy faced the camera. Robert De Niro lost my respect when he mocked a senator, fighting for American jobs and family safety. You don't have to like me, but you don't get to call me a tyrant for doing what others avoid. Somewhere in Louisiana, an elderly woman watching wept, moved by a stand finally taken. John Kennedy breathed deeply, moving to the stage's center as cameras rolled. The studio fell silent. No one stirred. You know why you're really upset, Mr. De Niro, Kennedy asked. Because under past neglect your world stayed untouched. You didn't care. He paused. But now we're prioritizing America. Bringing back jobs, holding Hollywood accountable. The crowd stirred. Kennedy's voice trembled with feeling. You once acted like a patriot, but now you follow a scripted line. You traded courage for clout, legacy for lies. You've gone woke, the word lingered. De Niro's face flushed, but he stayed quiet. Kennedy finished, eyes glistening. You had a gift, yet you used it to divide, to